Pay Your People Better, April 11th, 2026. See what we can do in here. Yeah. So I realized that the lens I gotta look at is this one right here. Right here. And I'm in the process of waiting for a queue in World of Warcraft. Let me check something real quick. Okay. So I can't like go crazy with the timing and all this. All that, I guess, whatever. And I'm also making some secret cornbread that I got from Dylan Hollis. I don't have his book, so I don't know the exact anythings. So just kind of winging it at this moment. And then, yeah. And that's going to be in there for like 40 minutes. In his recipe, he's got a sheet pan that's like a 9x13. I don't have one of those. Mine's on the way. It's coming on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I will have a number of things show up, including the, oops, too much over there. Including the 9x13, because I know that I'm going to need those on occasion. It's just good for a lot of different types of recipes. I've got an 8x8 at the moment, and since a 9x13 and an 8x8 have, an 8x8 is roughly half of the total surface area. Like, two 8x8s is just a little bit more than a 9x13. It's off by like 7 or 8 inches, something like that. I can remember, maybe a little closer to 15. I can't remember exactly how many, because I was trying to do the conversion at some point online. And the last time I did it, I only did a 1-egg version of it. And what I should have done last time, because I just took 3, or 1.5 egg rather. I took 3 eggs, blended them together, and then used that half to make it. This time, because I forgot, I now have 4.5 eggs in there. Because I put 3 eggs in, and then I put the other 1.5 egg because I thought it was only 1 egg. That mistake is going to be interesting. And then on top of all that, the recipe calls for 15 ounces of Cheese Whiz. I don't have Cheese Whiz, but I can make Cheese Whiz relatively easy by taking a few slices of American cheese and mixing them together with the other cheeses that I normally have, because I have blocks of cheese because those are cheaper. And while you can buy Velveeta at the store, I'm probably not going to be buying Velveeta anytime soon. Whereas I will be buying regular blocks of like Monterey Jack and cheddar, because I like those two cheeses in the applications that I will often use them for, which is like pizzas and stuff. I prefer to have like a high-fat mozzarella, but those are hard to come by at your typical grocery store, because usually the high-fat mozzarella is either going to be in like string cheese form, or it's going to be in like the little matzo balls, the mozzarella ball things, not matzo balls because that's different. So, you know, you take what you can get at the stores that you can go to on a regular basis. At some point, I need to go to, well, I need to figure out what my fridge situation is, because it's a bit of a mess at the moment. Spoon. Hello, spoon. So, And part of the reason why I need to get my fridge situation in order is, and for one, I gotta replace some stuff like cottage cheese, for instance. And the cottage cheese that I want to get, with this whole like, everybody wants to get more protein in their life, and they're not getting enough fiber in their life. Cottage cheese has gone up in price. It was never truly cheap, but it was usually pretty cheap. Like there were times where I could buy quite a bit for like $8 or $10. That's really hard to do nowadays. And you know, fortunately, like Greek yogurt has still kind of maintained its relative expense. So, you know, I buy that, knowing full well that like I'm still going to be using it pretty regularly. But at least with the food stamp situation, you know, I'm not like hard up for like monies, food monies anyway. Let me take my lactose pill here. Gotta take these on the regular now. I don't know why I'm, you know, constantly paying attention to the WoW screen, because like I'm in the queue for a couple of dungeons, and it's only popped up once. And really all I was hoping to do was just pop in there and finish off this one little quest, and then, you know, kind of do whatever for the rest of the day. But, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, so I've got like mason jars coming, and I've got bigger versions. So this is a 32 ounce. I'm getting 64 ounce versions. And like one of the things in my current 32 ounce jar situation, where did I put you? You're in here somewhere, I know it. There you are. It's separated just because like it's been sitting there for a bit, but this is for a Dutch baby. Ever since that episode, oh fuck, it's not closed all the way. Shit. Whoops, it's leaking a little bit. Thought I had it on there tighter, but whatever. Anyway. Oh, there's the Q-pop. There's the towel. What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay. Alright, so we're waiting for a healer. So I'm going to have larger mason jars. Then I've also got designed for mason jars, generally of a 64 ounce, is a cold brew filter. It's like $10, a metal filter. You stick it on the top, you pour in your cold brew, you know, whatever, water, etc., and then you just tighten it up, put it in the fridge, and let it just sit there and cold brew. And I figure I can kind of sort of like put the AeroPress to just kind of put it on standby until I want like hot coffee, because the cold brew situation I'm doing with it right now, while it works, it's a bit, there's like a bit of stuff to it. Whereas with the cold brew situation, I can just pour some water over that shit, put it in the fridge, and the next morning just pour my cup of coffee. So, I'm not gonna get like the little attachment that has the handle and shit. I'm not doing that crap. And we're not even getting a group, just like last time. The healer is not responding. And then there it goes. So, just waiting for that one specific group. And then I've got, what else? You know, I got a mop. I've got some cleaning wipes that I'll use for various things. It's like, I don't have any spray bottles at the moment. And I'm sure I could have put them in the cart, but I forgot. But then having like some, Lysol wipes just in general is kind of good, because then, it's like, it works for this, because like, because I've used them before. The last place I lived at, she had some, like, because it was a furnished place, and she was using it more or less as a potential for an Airbnb. And the place that I was at before, like, because it was literally on the other side of the wall, was the Airbnb that she had already set up. And so, I did what I could to try to maintain the place. And then, when I left, I tried to clean up as much as I could as well. But then I left a lot of like cleaning stuff there. I left cleaning supplies, including my spray bottles and the like, because I was like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be on the streets, and I don't know if these should be sitting in a storage unit or anything. So I just left them there. I left my rice cooker there, so I got to get another one of those. I'm probably gonna wait until I can afford the Instant Pot though. Because the Instant Pot can do that, plus the slow cooker, plus the pressure cooker. Because it's a pressure cooker. It's got different programming options that are available for it. But that's like $90. And the main reason I'm waiting on that is because the original rice cooker that I had bought, it's one of those aromas. I bought it for like, I think $25-$30 when I first bought one. And then I think that one either got damaged or I had to like leave it behind or something, that when I got kicked out of the place in Pasadena. And so I ended up buying another one, and now they're closer to like $45 after taxes and shit. So I figure if I'm paying extra on taxes, I might as well just buy, go up the next level to the Instant Pot, because it's also a slow cooker, which I also want to have. So, it is what it is. Because like I've tried doing the rice on the stovetop, and with brown rice, it's just not working. I'm basically just either not cooking it long enough, or I'm cooking it too long. I don't know. That's the problem. I don't actually know, so I'm gonna let the machine do the fucking work, so that I can get the health benefits out of eating the brown rice. Because I've only done like that much, basically, if that. And the thing is about brown rice is if it sits too long, it can get rancid. Which isn't to say that it goes bad, like it's not going to spoil. It'll taste like it's spoiled, it'll smell like it. It's because the fat will oxidize, because there is fat in brown rice, because it is whole grain essentially. Whereas when you have white rice, you don't have that issue, because during the process of creating white rice, it gets rid of the wheat germ, it gets rid of all the fiber on the outside. What the hell? It's just some schmutz or whatever, not like the shirt melting. Knowing me though, whatever. Gotta do laundry soon too, because I'm starting to pile up too much. And I think that might have been the issue, because I spent $20 trying to just do 2 loads of laundry last time. Like, and I don't even know how clean they got, because when the machine was done with them, they weren't just wet, they were soaking, and like they were in a pool of water inside the washer. And I'm like, what the fuck happened here? So I think with the next time I do it, I'm also gonna like take my painter's tape and like tape the door shut, so that it doesn't just get opened by anybody or anything, at least without some kind of effort. And the cool thing is like you don't need that much, maybe like 6-7 inches, and then you like tape part of it on the front of the door, and then just tape it to the side, and then you've created because like it's like trying to close a gator's mouth. Once you have it closed, they have a much more difficult time opening their mouth, because they have no real strength to open it. Their strength is all in the clamping. So that's why you can wrap a gator's mouth relatively easy with duct tape or something similar, and it's not going to be a problem. It'll be a problem because it's still, just fuck tons of muscle and bone, especially with their tail being so insanely strong. But you got rid of the knives for at least a bit. When the strong being made of muscle and bone has a bunch of fucking knives on the other end of it, and it can flail around and all that shit, stop with the knife part, and you'll have at least a more manageable muscle and bone situation. See, I'll be able to make more cold brew, make it a little bit more efficiently too. What else do I have here? I can check, which is the fun part. Because like even my phone right now is connected to the internet. Let's see. There you are. There's orders. Okay. Alright, yeah, and I got some hot sauce. Because I like me some Dirty Dick's hot sauce, and I got some headbands so that I can use those when I go to physical therapist or I go downstairs to the gym, and I got to do that later today as well. Because if I don't go often enough, then I'm just not doing myself any favors, and then I'm, kind of like sort of attacking the spirit of this new rebranding of the series, because like it's about the actions, it's not about the hope. I don't hope to go downstairs. I will go downstairs, because if I don't go downstairs, the injuries that I'm dealing with will not get better. So the day after I go to the physical therapist, I take a day off. I still do a little bit of stretches here and there just so I can make the day-to-day not suck as much. And the one thing is, when I'm in bed and I'm rotating and stuff, it's not nearly as bad as it was for the first week. The first week, like, if I tried to rotate if I tried to, turn my torso while keeping my hips stationary, it was painful, either direction. It was more so, I think, turning right than it was turning left. Now it's almost not painful. Just the getting up part is the more difficult part. Like I said, essentially trying to do a sit-up sucks. So I've got to do some more of that as well. I should sweep up in here a little bit, and then I can at least organize it a little bit to do so. And the pain isn't as persistent in the day-to-day, but it is still there every day. It's still there right now. I'm sitting at kind of like a 1.5. You're like, okay, if 1 was like basically no pain, then I'm more like a 2.5, I suppose. Because like I feel it and I notice it every time I'm doing something. If I just try to, okay, that's not too bad, All right, still basically 2.5. I still feel it, but it doesn't spike up. The pain doesn't increase, which is good. And I've noticed that if I am up for a while and, just even if I'm just sitting around and just moving back and forth between here and there, whatever, the pain tends to just kind of subside throughout the day. Let me check. Okay. So, I was going to use this to make my shredded cheese, but I didn't. I'm almost regretting buying this because I just don't have a dishwasher, and it's so much easier to clean with a dishwasher. You just shove it in there. That, trying to clean it by hand, is a bit harrowing because, I don't want to slice my fucking fingers up. And so I have to be extra cautious, but then on top of it, I got to be able to get inside of it and try to do that. So I've also got like another brush that's coming as well. That's going to be more for like cleaning this little bad boy, because it has been kind of a bitch to clean out properly, even with this brush. This brush is much more for like the bigger stuff, like the pots and the pans and the sheet trays and stuff. It's been much more efficient with that, and I mean even cleaning the fucking cast iron as well. It's been very useful for that too. So, so it's definitely a worthwhile purchase. It's just not as universal as I'd hoped. So, like I said, I'm gonna get the bottle brush basically, so that I can clean, you know, things like this, things like the fucking AeroPress stuff, things like the mason jars, especially since I'm getting those. Even this, because with that spike in the middle, you can see it, that little nubbin, it kind of makes getting in there to clean everything. And so I'm like, okay, so if I can get the bottle brush in there, I can kind of push down and get a little bit more surface area covering that, just to make sure, because I mean it's clean, but it just kind of takes a little bit of effort. Now, one of the things I try to do is, and I haven't done it yet because I got a fucking sink full of dirty dishes and shit, and I was going to clean them, and then when I went to go clean them, the water was just nothing, basically. And so I just didn't fucking do it. And I was just like, fuck, this is going to be an every week thing, like twice a week at least. It seems, fuck, what the hell? Okay, that was weird. All of a sudden, just wham! And that right there is my life, where I think things are getting better, and all of a sudden, nope. So annoying. But yeah, so, and you know, I've got to deal with that all the time now. So I haven't found my blood work from my doctor's office, so I'm just gonna have to go there probably next week. Probably do it. I don't know if I can do it on Wednesday. I might. If I try to do it Monday, well, shit. Because today's Saturday, I think, now, so I don't know if I can do it. Because I will definitely be calling for the, or not calling, I will be ordering a car from here to there, because it's pretty far away. And then, you know, I can talk to them about the potential for, you know, moving my data around or whatever, but, especially because, like, the pharmacy, I got to get that changed, because it was the one that was right down the street from the homeless shelter. Now I got to get the one that's down the street from here. So, because I got to get the blood work from them, so that when I go see my psychiatrist, because I got to see her in person, I think at least once a year now, because I've only seen her, like I've literally never even met her in person, and she's been with me since 2022, so 4 years, and you know, COVID was a big thing, and you know, all the fucking, and it, like at first it was just over the phone, and then it was, we can do a Zoom call every now and then, and then it was like, all right, now we're doing Zoom calls on a regular, and it was like, I think because it's under the Department of Mental Health, they were mandating that you had to at least see them every now and then, you know, in some form, including like a Zoom call situation. And now apparently, I guess, you know, since we're far enough out from COVID, that seeing in person is going to be doable. And with the motive care as an option, it's not a big deal for me to get a car now, because like, it used to be I would take fucking Ubers, and I would have to pay for it myself. Now I'm getting Ubers and Lyfts, and I'm not paying for it myself. Now I don't go every time I could see them. I just hop on the computer. And you know, the next time I'll have a session is on Wednesday with my therapist, and it'll be the first time I've seen him. I mean, granted, I saw him in person sometime last year, but that's because I needed to get the paperwork from him signed so that I could be in this place. And so that was in like September, October. But it'll be the first time I'll see him using this new internet. And so far, like I said, so great. It's kicking ass, taking names. I've already downloaded some useful stuff. Like I'm even considering downloading Sims 4 since it's free now, because like if you go to the Steam page, holy shit! If you go to the Steam page for Sims 4 and you scroll down and you go to the extras part and it's like 50 something DLCs, it's $1,200. $1,200 for the Sims 4 DLC pack, like total package. All of the DLCs that have ever been made. That's insanity. That's a lot of fucking money for Sims 4. For one video game. I mean, World of Warcraft, as far as I can remember, when it launched, and I want to say it was like 2003, maybe? I think so. If it wasn't 2003, then I think it was 2004. Let's just say 2003, right? And we're not even going to consider, and it launched in like October, I want to say, something like that. Or maybe November. But let's say it was October of 2003 is when World of Warcraft was released. Okay? The subscription, just the subscription for it, is $15 a month. Okay? That's technically $14.99, but whatever. $15 a month. And let's say you just went all the way up to October of last year. That's 22 years. Okay? And it's $15 a month, 12 months in a year. That's $150 plus another $30, so it's $180 a year because it's 15 times 12. 15 times 10, 150, 15 times 2, 30, $180. In 10 years, holy shit. Holy fuck. In 10 years of just World of Warcraft subscriptions, that's $1,800. In 20 years, that's $3,600. And in 22 years, it's $3,960. So basically $4,000. $4,000 in 22 years to play World of Warcraft. That is so much goddamn money. And again, I don't know, I don't remember if it was 2003 or 2004. And I didn't count the last several, the last few months, from November to December, January, February, March, extra 5 months. But it's close enough. I mean, the averaging out, it basically puts it out at about $4,000. So the people who have played World of Warcraft from beginning to now have spent approximately $4,000 on just the subscriptions alone. Now, when you buy an expansion pack, oftentimes you get one free month out of it, right? Because you're paying like 40 or 50 or 60 bucks for the expansion pack. So even if you don't count the expansion packs and you just count the, it's like, so even if you bought a subscription pack, you still because you still paid that 15 bucks somehow, $4,000. That's ridiculous. I need to see when it first started. $2004. So I was off by a year. Started it launched on November 23rd, 2004. So if you don't count into 2004 because you've got like the initial game plus, I don't know if you have to actually pay for an extra fucking month for the remainder of the year. We've got 2005 to 2025 is 20 years plus the, you know, January to February, February to March, March to April. So we're in the, we're in 20 years and 3 months period. Sorry, 21 years and 3 months period. It's close enough. Holy shit. 3,600 plus 180 plus 45. That's 225. That's 36, 38, 25. So still close. Plus, again, if you bought all the expansions, there's like one expansion a year on average. And even if those are only $40, like you're still paying $25 extra per. So let's just say you spent that $38.25 just on the subscriptions. We're gonna count 15 of that out of all the purchases, out of all the expansions, and say that all of the expansions were $40 a piece. Or sorry, $40. You're paying $25 a piece per expansion. And again, let's just say there's one every year, so that's 21 expansions. Holy fuck. God damn. So that's $250, $500, $525 extra. So that is $4,000. $4,000, like $150. So yeah, if you have been playing since the beginning and you've never shut off your account once, and there are some people who have had this, like they get trophies for being like 10-year or 20-year subscribers, and their trophies ain't worth fucking $4,000, that's for sure. They spent that money. Alright, I can't think of anything else. I'm just shitting on other people now. And I'm just playing the game for free and waiting and getting nothing happening. So have fun.